All right.
Need headset?
Hold on.
Yes. Wait. Wait. This is
Where's
so
the
close.
chat thing?
We can't see Jason.
Oh, that's good.
Boom.
Hold on. I'm missing the. There we go. I just need.
Can we see Jason pretty good?
I just need the chat thing in here. Start recording.
Huh?
We got an S6, right?
That's why he's laughing. You're like, yeah. That's why he's laughing. You're like, damn, he's missing a few clicks here.
There we go.
Oh, you was headset? Yeah. Same here.
No.
It's a uniform. Blade on the other end. It's a unit class.
Is it
I'm
uniform?
logging in right now. Do you still active duty?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. What unit are you?
60-second.
60-second man.
60-second mid?
Who's
You're 60-second mid? I used to be the S1 60-second mid.
I'm the S6.
Oh, what are you doing there? You should be clicking around here.
The software issue right there.
Robert's job.
Oh, is it?
The next time something to go live, viewers will be okay. Boom.
It's awesome.
There we go. Now we're live.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Who's over here?
Hello.
Currently
Hello.
viewers. Hello po, nawala kanina. Akala di na mabalik siya. I told you we should.
All right. Are we live now?
We're live.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody's here right now. But somebody was here.
That's okay. Just continue.
All right. Okay, let's go here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live broadcast of Top Talks. I'm here with my guy Rogelio, and we have our special guest. Go ahead, please introduce
I'm
yourselves.
Jason.
Jason,
Charles Grissom.
Charles.
Brandon.
All right, so today we're gonna have a good discussion on a very sensitive topic. Oh, somebody's here, Syra. First time here, new subscriber because of SB19. We can talk about that later.
How you doing, Syra?
Hi, Syra. So we'll check that out later. We'll do a SB19 thingy.
Yeah, later.
All right. Hopefully, they can hear us. That's one thing we didn't do. We didn't do a sound check. So, yeah. So today we're gonna be talking about racism in America. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna watch a video. I interviewed my guy. His name is Fred Stacy. Asked him a few questions about what his thoughts are on the issues, and we'll pause it while for each questions, and then we'll have our opinions about it. Okay, without further ado, let's talk to Mr. Stacy here. All right. We got 40 minutes.
And of course, it's not.
Right, so we were discussing the word, the N word, right? So how is it
Nobody can hear it. Right?
harder to say the N word than the other preconceived derogatory terms to other races? In your opinion?
In my opinion, I think it's just
In here. I
because
get this here.
that term has that term doesn't have an overall negative connotation to everyone who uses it. So it's similar to like if
It's still not working.
you have somebody who is
That's why my
white
sucks.
and they would call somebody else who's white like a redneck or a
Right,
cracker or
right.
Oh, it's right.
Tap that like button.
it has a different connotation
So,
of like somebody else who wasn't
yeah.
Caucasian
Like and subscribe.
used
Here
it.
to show what you're
I think the problem is that
This is real raw right
or
here.
it would have the same connotation.
Cannot
So like
beat live.
it would be perceived
Cannot
the
beat
same way
live,
by everybody.
but I will
I
play
think the problem with
this
the N word is that
Alright.
it's only perceived in that negative connotation by people not of a melanin base. So we spoke about how Hispanics say it, African Americans have come to say it as a greeting now.
Here,
I know some
Okay, good.
Samoans who say it. And from knowing
put the volume
their
up there.
culture and how their people came to be, we know that it's not met in like a derogatory way when it's used. So I think the power in that word
You
still
guys watching
only seems to come out of when people who have a certain upbringing use it and you know it's meant for a derogatory manner.
Is it two
So
separate videos?
let's.
Say again?
So for
Is it two
example,
separate
let me put some situation on
it's
that.
two
So you
separate
have a
videos.
friend
Mhm.
that's white,
Mhm.
right? And you're really, really close.
Mhm.
What if you're so close that your white friend can say it to you and not make it as a derogatory term? Is that acceptable or is that socially unacceptable?
And there actually are instances where that happens, or where it's encouraged and it doesn't have as much of a impact as someone that is not of that upbringing or hasn't been raised in that type of environment. So when they use it in a certain manner. So like, for instance, my girlfriend, she's mixed, and it's weird because her friends at times will like encourage her, like, it's okay, you can say it, but she refuses to say it because she identifies more as white, because both her parents are a large percentage of white.
So there's a clip that I've seen with Morgan Freeman, and the question was, how can we stop racism? And one of the things that he mentioned is stop talking about it. So what's your perspective on that comment when Morgan Freeman said stop talking about it? Does that, you think, will improve,
Have a critic.
the situation, the
Miracle.
And so I've actually heard a lot of people who say that African Americans are stuck in the mindset that they are because they give that past part of history so much power over their identity.
Okay, so before we go to the other
It's-
question, we can talk about what his response was. So the question was, is there institutional racism in America, right? And you all heard his comment. What do you guys think?
I think that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there is institutional racism in America, but it's not like the Jim Crow laws.
Yeah.
It's not evolved to this new. I really don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It's so like it's for political power.
Mm-hmm.
We're pitting against each other every 4 years. There's all of a sudden there's all this racism. Just like cops killing black people somewhere.
Mhm.
And that's something we talk about. To generate
Right.
anger amongst the black population, so the black vote. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I think we can see that institutional racism a little bit more now that we have such a large influx of illegal migration coming into the cities.
Mhm.
The cities are just throwing money at them.
Yeah.
Like, don't get a job, get you money. Just make sure you vote for us. And then black people are like,
Yeah.
where was this, like 4 years ago?
Right.
So you kind of see it then. Like they had the resources. They
Right.
just didn't give it to them. They had opportunities to help these people.
Let me say hi to Libay Amaro. Welcome. Yes, we're gonna react to SB19 here in a few. We're doing the podcast version of the live version for now, and then we'll go over the video reacts later. And say hi to Malakai Willis. Welcome to the podcast. So again, what's your thoughts about it?
I do think people in power use it as a tool to pin us against each other.
Yeah.
Not their institutional racism.
Yeah.
I would find that hard. Like, is there a law on the books
Yeah.
currently? Is there an establishment that has policies that are racist? I would say I don't see that. You know what I mean? That's my experience.
Right.
But I mean, politicians and people in power will use that business against each other.
Right.
You know? But yeah, I mean, we haven't been able to stop murder in
Right.
thousands of years.
Right.
There's going to be racist
Yeah.
people, right? I mean, we can get it to a low level where we can, for the majority of us can get along, and you know, we all have the same goal, get to the same place, raise our family, you know, live in safety.
Yeah.
But we're never going to completely get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I think we get to a point where it's not a very large impact in the overall society.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think?
I think that there is. It's hard to put it or explain what I'm thinking, but I think there are. It may not be no like hard policies, no hard laws, or like he was explaining, Jim Crow laws or anything like that. But I think there's certain things in place that affects the thinking of Black Americans, or starting out at a young age in school.
Yeah.
And certain areas are given certain amount of access to certain, certain businesses and stuff.
Mhm.
We're the only, when you look at African Americans, we're the only ones that have to go outside of our neighborhoods and our stuff to get access to some of those, resources. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. Resources that others have readily available.
Right.
They try to keep, the Black people in the group in a certain area. Like I'll take when I'm from North Carolina, Fayetteville.
Yeah.
There is a red line. Chicago, there's a red line there. LA, they got the red lines in there, and they push you on a certain side where you have to. We're gonna keep them over here, and resources over here. So you continuously have to go outside your area of living, your habitat to go and maintain those resources, and they're not really available. So there was a point where they did have that, and we did start that in Oklahoma,
Right.
and it was destroyed. So I just think there's stuff out there. It may not be direct, but there's certain things that's in place to affect or keep the front, keep Blacks and African Americans in the same state of mind.
In a certain closed environment, right, per se. So,
Well, can you expand on what happened in Oklahoma?
They basically had a whole city, a whole economic thing going on, and it was very prosperous.
Are you talking about the Black Wall Street?
Yep.
And basically, they really wasn't affecting anybody or anything. They were just very successful. They were they had businesses, they was bringing in money.
Right.
They was sharing it among the community, building up the community, and basically it was bombed.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It was basically bombed.
Yeah. It was back in the 40s.
Kaczynski. I mean, what's his name?
Bro,
What is his name?
the Unabomber.
It's not
No.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Joe, you're talking about the Unabomber.
Yeah, no, yeah. Wrong time frame. Okay.
Wrong hospital.
Yeah.
Wrong hospital.
No, well, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's just growing up in the South, I just experienced that. Like anytime African Americans or people of color have pride in what they're doing, they're too far right, or they're doing too much.
Mm.
We're the only one of the few group of people that really don't have an identity in the United States. Latinos or Mexicans or Puerto Ricans,
Mhm.
they come to this country, and you can see it. You can go to a grocery store that's
They have
Puerto Rican that sells Hispanics food,
Yeah,
right.
or they have that capability, but then when something like that gets created,
I see that. I can see what that.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
man, Piggly Wiggly, Piggly Wiggly's man.
Piggly Wiggly, that thing is. We only got one left, and it's barely standing. Yeah.
I love Piggly Wiggly's
I
now.
see one Piggly Wiggly in Wisconsin.
I've never heard of.
Oh, you never heard of it?
Until I went to Georgia.
So somebody says hi from Virginia, Mabel Moon. Say hi.
Hello.
From the East Coast.
From the East Coast, what?
Yeah, well, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I know Jason said like, it's really hard to see if there's policies or laws that's like really suppressing a certain group or people, and then you're saying that they're you see it, you feel it, you live it. When I was going through my degree program and I was studying crime. With crime, the roots, you always see distinction where crime is so heavy. Of course, you have the impoverished group, and then everything goes out. The farther you are from a certain area, the more manageable living would be. Crime is lower, more expensive, whatever the case may be. And what happens is when you have that demographic living in a center, regardless of race at this point. Now you're talking about a group community that is impoverished, and they're living in a 4x4 grid square, for example. Crime is really, really heavy. Everybody's choice is to move out, but you can't because of resources, jobs in that center, zero. You really have to continuously move out just to find your way and try to earn a living. And the majority is when you go further out, houses are a lot expensive, not affordable. Only a few will be able to do that, and that's just in a nutshell. When it's like several books that describes this type of environment. For institutional wise, though, like what you were referring to is you got that red line. And sometimes those lines are really from way back when. It is still prevalent, but there's a lot of people that
How is
are.
it prevalent? What do you mean prevalent?
It was prevalent back then. So now, but it's now that it's still instilled, because you do see it in areas here, right? Let's use Tacoma for example. Hilltop, right? Back in the 80s, that certain sector, right? That certain area was a little bit of low income, and only a few would be living there because that's what they could afford. Anything that you have to go out so that you can secure your own living, it's somewhat a little bit difficult.
Yeah, but is that because of racism? I mean, you could look at Appalachia.
No.
It's
It may
similar,
not be about racism, but it's about laws that was in place before.
So you're saying it's like there could be a bleed over. There could be a bleed over
It could
effect
be.
for things
It's
that
like
happened in the
zoning
past.
part, right? You're zoning it out so that you are making sure, like, you stay there. We have the ability to move out, but your resources is not going to be easy, but it will be. You could be able to access it once you go further down another city, apply for it, or whatever the case may be. Have businesses that are open. But when you go to that certain demographic, that certain area, it's like really a liquor store, a gun shop, or any other shop. Not a grocery store. You have to go a couple blocks down. With those couple of blocks, from zoning or whatever regulation they have, that's quite planned from city. So it depends. It depends on what we're talking about was for if there's certain laws or policies that's been in place. It could be. It could be from past, bled over. We are pretty well versed that, okay, I'm not going to look at it that way. I will strive to move out. Now I'm doing this for myself. For that's the majority of the thinking, right? But if you truly want to look back and try to, set the playing field, then those resources to help certain communities should just be flowing, not you're on this zip code, you got to go here or whatever the case may be.
Hello, Jessa the Paz.
I mean, you were hitting it a while ago regarding schooling as well, education. There are some places to where some educational support, they give more support to this school district versus this school district. Again, it goes to certain demographics, certain
How do
zoning.
schools get their money?
Well,
Property tax.
okay,
So if there's an area that's
impoverished.
impoverished or have high crime, or they don't have homes, they have apartments,
Mhm.
or the home values are less,
Right.
people are going to pay less property tax.
Right.
So there's going to be more resources going. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that's how usually schools.
Well,
run.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
there is some, cities and localities, local governments, they give money to schools. You can look into that and how that's dispersed. But I know a lot of the school funding comes from property tax.
Understand. And again, now you go into the zoning and separations. Yes, you will have a school there and a school here. Dividing line 1-3 versus 1-0 zip codes, right? Fully funded, 50% funded. High paying jobs for teachers over there, low paying jobs. So the quality of people that you start sending there for teaching diminishes. So you are just, it seems, this is just my opinion, this is a continual process to where you're trying to support, right? You're trying to support, but the quality of education is not up to par. If it's up to par, you're missing resources through books, technology, and stuff like that. It's not. Maybe you are sharing, like,
Sharing headphones.
sharing headphones instead of helping each other, right?
Yeah,
I mean, those are resources crucial for learning or whatever the case may be. But sometimes it's not attainable. It's just because of how wealth is divided, how resources are actually spread. Now, is it fair to take the taxes that they earn, the revenue here to support here? I don't know. I don't know. But there has to be a better way of
Distributing the funds.
not even distributing. I mean, you did mention a while ago, if all this immigration is, here's all the money, you do it.
They obviously have the money.
They have the money.
They have
the money and resources. Do you really want to help? I mean, you've identified a problem. Why not help?
Because if you don't help, you can bring that problem back up 4 years from now and go, hey, this other guy didn't take care of you. I'm going to take care of you this time. Vote for me.
Yeah.
There you
We're
go.
going to vote for them. And
Yeah.
they're not going to do it. And then we're going to go through another cycle 4 years later. Hey, that last guy didn't help you. I'm going to help you. Vote for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the both sides, or the opinions that I heard from both, from everybody here, pretty much kind of hits it on different angles, right? So I think, yes, there's no laws that saying that they're making racial to put down the racial disparity in the United States. I don't think there's no more laws like that.
Hold on now. They just passed these laws in Rhode Island and a couple other states where they can't hire white people for certain positions.
Oh shit! Are you serious?
So they're creating
Well,
the racial disparity.
so that's the other question. The other question that I was gonna ask was, so going away from the Jim Crows, now what we have is a different kind of. It's still racial in idea, but it's much more accepted per se. Even though let's say you can't hire white people, right? That's racist, right? But why is it accepted?
because DEI started that. It all stemmed from DEI.
Mm.
There was people that, and they might have been well intentioned. They said, okay. The one thing too is that disparity doesn't always equal race.
Right.
They say, hey, this group over here is not, performing or getting, getting the same result as this person over here doesn't mean it's racist. But what a lot of DEIs did is they took the results, they took the disparities, and they said they were because of racism.
So it sounds to me that it seems like they're redressing the horse, basically saying that a horse is a dog and a dog is a horse, but in actuality it's two different animals. Basically, it's racist, but they're calling it something different. So what I'm trying to say is that there's no more laws that specifically target a single race, but the idea.
Except for the one in Rhode Island.
The administration during COVID or right after COVID, they passed a law for farmers.
Right.
Yeah.
That said, hey, the black farmers have priority over everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. The idea is there, but they're calling it something different.
Right.
Right.
And if one way you can just get to the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's not a one size fits all solution,
right?
Obviously. But you say if you make stuff needs based, okay, needs based. This person needs something because of an income level, or because they have like a disability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, someone with a disability is going to need a higher chair to sit up or whatever, right, to help them out. Somebody in a lower income group might need a little bit of assistance. But if you make it needs based, okay, if it ends up being more black people need the need, or more white people need the need, or more indigenous people or Filipinos or Asians. If you base it off need, you can you're not gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
If someone that doesn't receive it, it's gonna be, oh, this guy got it
because I think what it is like historically, right? The two party. I don't really agree. It's a must to have two parties or three parties right now in the government.
Well, it's two parties because it's
the independent parties. But
it's a two-party cartel system.
But if you think about it, historically, the Democrats are more of the racial.
Well, who created the Democrat Party?
Yeah, Democrats.
Confederacy.
Yeah. So I think.
How did it change? How did it flip?
No, it never flipped.
There's a misconception that there was a Southern strategy back in the day, and then the Republicans were like, hey, we can get the black vote, they flipped parties. And the Democrats and Republicans, Democrats were the racists, and then they flipped parties.
Yeah.
And then the Republicans became the racists.
But it's not that. Yeah, I read about a bunch of books about that, and started with the Democratic Party against the, that's why we had the Revolutionary War, right? Not the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, right? It's because the Democrats versus the Republicans. That's
no, the Democratic Party didn't come up until
after the Civil
War.
Mm.
So after Abraham Lincoln got assassinated, you got to go over, he was very much racist.
Yeah.
And he pretty much allowed the remnants of the Confederacy back in the government.
So don't you think that, and I think everybody can agree that the politicians, specifically towards the left, are using race bait, whatever the case may be, to maintain power. You know what I mean?
Both sides are doing that.
I mean, more prevalent in the Democratic Party, in my opinion. Because I think it's all about power and who's sitting in the White House and who's sitting in the Congress and the Senate chairs. And us, peasants, we're oblivious of what's going on in the DC area. But I know it's a power struggle between those two parties, and they're using race and feelings and all that stuff to kind of get votes. In actuality, though, if you think about it, there's really no power to the people because we vote electoral, votes, right? You have the electoral, the college. So do the people really have power, or it's somebody behind the scenes playing politics and picking and choosing who's supposed to be in power?
So I'm answering that. Like, so it's kind of like it's a lending system.
Yeah.
We the people do have all the power. It's just that over the decades, we let the government like more and more of our rights, our authorities, our power, and piecing them out. And then the government did an excellent job by re-educating our children. So they don't even know what power that they're supposed to have, did have, and we now live in like a largely like I'm gonna say like it's a godless society. So once the God and the family, broke down, we don't have any continuity.
Yeah.
Like looking at my family, my dad didn't tell me crap about where we came from, about government or nothing. He's just like, just work hard and you'll make it one day. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I grew up, definitely not true.
Well, let's move on to the next question. Let's play this other video.
See, sharing.
Sharing is caring. Hi, Pete Santiago. All right, sharing is caring.
It's okay to know your roots and understand where you came from in the history, but you have to look at, does it continue to define you when you continue to let that portion of your history be in and of who you are and define your character flaws. It's just like if you have it's just like when you have Jewish people, right? They would rather forget the Holocaust, not let that part of their history define who they are as a people. And it seems like, certain African Americans would feel like, as a people, we continue to hold on to that part of our history and let it define us. And then I know some of us may take anger and may take resentment from that part of history. And I think that's what continues to give racism power. Like, I know, like, completely throughout my whole household, everybody's mixed. My daughter is mixed, my girlfriend's mixed, her kids are mixed. So my way of fighting it is basically just, it's a two-fold sword, because you eliminate all of the traits and nuances that would make you consider race even in a conversation, like the like just blending of bloodlines and everything. But then a lot of people feel like, oh, but then it erases my originality, erases my heritage, it erases where I come from and what I know as my people. So
Okay.
I think it's
So the question
a
is,
very hard conversation.
why is it always
to be-
black versus white, white versus black? And he mentioned that he thinks it's about it's regional, because you don't know what this racism look like in South America, in Japan, or whatever. So that his answer makes sense. But what is you guys' opinion about it? Why do you think it's always black and white?
Politically, it's low hanging fruit. It's something that I think it's obviously been drummed up, so people respond to it.
Yeah.
Based off slavery in America, into Civil War, and misleading facts that a large part of our population have about that time frame. So it's politically just low hanging fruit. It's something that you just talk about or don't have to have present any facts for your argument.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because, if you go back in history,
Yeah.
that was the majority of people here. Where, you know,
Right.
after we became a country, we had slaves, and it was black and white,
Mhm.
it was Native Americans.
Right.
So when we did these atrocities against black people, it was black and white. And then when they were, you know, when we started to try to turn that ship, and you know, we got rid of slavery and we got rid of Jim Crow,
Mhm.
and we started moving towards a more perfect union, as they say. Those are the factions that were going against each other. So it would be easy to go, hey, you know, black and white, because that was historically
Yeah.
the races.
The races.
that had conflict.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Just from where it originated from.
Right. You have any opinion on that?
I mean, it's easy sell, man. That's what I was like. That's an easy sell.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different nationalities, different races that come. You know, they clash. And some of them are brutal, but you don't hear it, or you may hear it once, reported, but that's not going to stick.
I would say though that we are starting to get that they're trying to muddy the waters,
Mm.
so powers that be, because now they started, you know, it's black and white.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's BIPOC. So hey, everything but white is in BIPOC against white. So that we can
Oh.
keep the flames going. You know, we keep stoking the racial
They're updating their software.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
black indigenous people of color.
Yeah,
That would-
yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody can be in that group and they
Mhm.
can claim
Keep expanding the bubble.
and then you can claim oppression, you know.
Yeah.
Even though historically your people weren't oppressed, or you came here as an immigrant, and you know you came here as an immigrant, and your people are doing well, they're not really getting bothered.
Yeah.
And then you go to a college and they say, hey, you're part of this group, come with us.
Yeah. You're oppressed. You're
You're
oppressed.
oppressed.
I'm like, shit. Call the police. Somebody's
I didn't know
oppressing me.
that. Okay, sounds good.
You
Where are we marching
didn't know you
to?
were oppressed.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think everybody's opinion is valid. I think also that I think just the black community is a lot more tight knit and much more, you know, reactive to issues, while in certain races like Chinese, Filipinos, it tends to take us a long time to kind of fight back. You know, because we've been enslaved by the Spaniards for a long time.
We've been oppressed, man.
BIPOC.
BIPOC. That I think back in the day when that was happening, not just to the Chinese but also to the Filipino community, it took them a while to kind of fight back, because to them, like, I'm in a different country, I don't know what's going on. Looks normal to me because this happened back in the Philippines, and then later on they got to school, they understood. So I think it's more like you said, it's because it's, you know, much more much more sell point to, yeah, and you don't hear like, you know, Mexican guy killed a Filipino guy, like, who, nobody cares. You know,
There's a lot of them.
nobody cares. Like, wow, that's too bad. So, all right, moving on. Let's move on to the next question. We are, oh shit,
Sharing.
sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
Held if there's not openness in mind.
Right. Let's hear.
You're always here.
All right. So that's his answer. Kind of a little bit vague to me, but it makes sense because of the history of oppression. Whatnot is not there. But what do you guys think? Why?
Was the question more, can minorities be racist against white people?
Yes.
I know there is a popular belief that started going around that you might have heard that black people can't be or minorities can't be, specifically black people can't be racist against white people
Because of the
power.
yeah.
But if you treat somebody regarding their race, it's racist.
Right.
You know, if you switch their race out, you know, I know of an institution. I'm not going to say what it is, but they have certain affinity groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, hey, we're going to have this get together specifically for people of color. And if you want to have your own get together for white people, you can have your own white. And I was like, wait, it's 2024. I thought we got rid of segregation.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I was like, hey, that's racist. That can't be racist because they don't have any power. And I was like, oh, I thought we weren't supposed to treat people with regard to race. regardless of,
No power. God.
That
Have a power.
that's pretty interesting.
What's your thoughts?
I think it was he was fishing for an answer.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand the question.
Yeah.
Like all racism is wrong.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Right. Yeah.
You know, hitting somebody based on their skin, man, skin color thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got problems. It doesn't matter the shade color. You know, you shouldn't discriminate someone.
Right.
You should not withhold good from anybody just based on this.
Mm.
That's how I look at it. Or treat them less than
Then a person. Yeah.
based on skin color.
Right.
And we can talk about how that is in the policies and laws and stuff. Like it all starts with your how you perceive the world around you, and if that's the lens you run with, then like probably shouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
You're a huge melting pot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I believe they can. Hate is hate. Violence is violence. Whatever shape or form someone, a white man or a white woman is walking in a black neighborhood and they commit violence on people just because of the face of their skin.
Mm-hmm.
That's racism.
Yeah.
That's whatever you call it.
100%.
I think what he was trying to explain the best way and didn't know how is that distrust may come off as racism, or just saying like I don't trust Caucasians or I don't trust them, and that's like a defense mechanism
Right.
that's been instilled. Like, hey, like when the young black men were getting pulled over and killed and shot, and they claimed to have weapons, and I had that conversation with my son. It's like, hey, man, if you ever get pulled over, hand on the steering wheel, don't reach for anything unless instructed to do so. Make sure, the dome light is on and the lights are on so he can clearly see in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a defense mechanism. It's not like I don't like the police officer is white or I don't like him. I'm cautious. I don't trust that the right thing will be done.
Right.
So I think he was trying to get somewhere with that, but I think minorities can be racist.
Yeah, I agree.
And then if you go back to that I was saying before about the theory that
Yeah.
people racism. Like if you had a party and you invited all your Filipino friends, and you didn't include me.
Oh shit.
If you didn't include me because I was white, then that would be racist.
Right.
But if you didn't include me because you guys are gonna sing karaoke to Filipino
Come
songs
on.
and I don't know the language.
It doesn't matter.
or, you know what I mean?
You can read it.
You can read it.
Food culturally that I wouldn't eat or
Yeah.
something. That's a
Oh,
different
you
thing.
eat it anyway.
If you go, hey, don't let that white guy, then that's a different.
Yeah, that's different. But we'll make you eat anyway the food.
And I tried to do the karaoke. I couldn't.
You did good. You did good. You did good. We might do some karaoke here.
No, yes, it can happen, but I like the way you answered it too. because it also involves power, right? I mean, you could have like multiple groups, X number of groups, same, hating somebody, another group. But if there's no power, you do have hate, you do have violence. Yes, sucks, shouldn't happen, but doesn't go anywhere. But then you say you get power, and then you talk about, instituting some policies, laws. Now you're talking next level. Now you're making a big difference.
Yeah.
I don't think you necessarily have to have power to be racist.
No, you don't.
Treat somebody
No, you don't.
regarding
Yeah.
your race and your race. You can be more racist or more effective
Yes.
implementing your racism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
have power.
Yes.
Professional racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and like you said before, racism is not gonna go away. There's always gonna be people that's gonna be racist based on our genetic composition, because it's ingrained in us to group ourselves into tribes.
No,
Right.
we're not that far removed from,
Right.
we're only, what's civil rights at, 1964?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
born in 70.
Yeah.
It's still not that long ago.
Right.
So we gotta, if you look at, I don't want to go on soapbox, but if you look at like some like terrorism, right?
Right.
Terrorism is bred into children, right?
Mhm.
It's taught to children.
Yep.
Right? It's
Generational.
gonna take people to break that cycle and teach children
Yeah.
to love people because they're people, not because they look a certain way or
Mhm.
they're the bad
Yeah.
Westerners or whatever. Right? But same thing with racism. I mean, racism is, people teach it.
Yeah.
But the kids aren't born racist. When I was a kid, I was like the only white kid in a black neighborhood. Right?
Yeah.
Little kid. All we wanted to do is go to the playground. But we didn't think about this. I didn't even hear. I didn't even hear the terms white, black really until I became like a teenager. So it was like, I moved to another neighborhood and I was in 7th grade, and then I heard, the white people moved out of the corner.
Yeah.
But like we never even talked in those terms.
Yeah. I mean,
Somebody teaches people that.
yeah, we didn't know that. I didn't know that until I came to the States.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You're like 10 years removed from civil rights. Man, dude, I was born in 71. We didn't have that over there. But we did have some differences of discrimination, even in the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
If
Yeah,
you
we can't be blind and say it doesn't
Yeah,
happen. I mean,
yeah.
that's just stupid. It happens.
It happens.
Still
It
happens.
It happens
And
all
it's
over.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
It
It
I
happens all
agree.
over.
I agree. I think it's tough. You don't come out noticing difference.
Right.
I take it yesterday. Had a young white little boy with his father with a young child riding on the sidewalk.
right.
I happened to come out my front door right when he came in, and he was like, "Hello," and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he's like, and he knows my shoes, and
Yeah.
his shoes were similar. And he was like, "Yeah, I got the black ones." And he just had a little conversation. He had to be about 6, and he was, "Hey, you see my bike? Yeah, I see your red bike." And that is like the innocence. He just saw someone that just came out, and he was riding his new bike. He just decided to say hi. He didn't probably say, "Oh, there's a black guy. He don't look like my dad." Or
Yeah.
No, he just saw a person and he wanted to speak to him. I don't think it's like
Hi, Raquel Tabasa.
just born
Right.
that in you.
Yeah.
Like my kids, they've been all across the world, been all groups of people, and they'll talk to anybody. They're just somebody that's have to tell them, we don't talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa.
I get you.
That's a great point.
I get
If I may. So I was overseas for a long time. I think in the military too, some of us might have a different level of perspective. I was overseas for most of the time. My kids were in school, and we this conversation never came about race and stuff, right? So we had. I was in Germany, and then I was in Okinawa, right? So we had all service members, kids all go to school together. We all lived together, everything. I got here. I was probably here like 2 weeks. And my son had already graduated, so he was going to college here. My daughter was going to high school, and I was probably here 2 weeks, and she started talking about like people with different races and people at school talking about. She came home and she's like, "All these people are talking about white people, black people, Spanish people, all this stuff," and it was like weird to her,
Yeah.
because nobody cared about that shit,
No.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's my questions. But yeah, we had a good conversation about that. bottom line is racism is bad. Well, it's wrong. You shouldn't judge people based on their appearance. You should judge people based on their character.
Yes.
And go ahead.
Let me ask. I mean, we're all living in Washington. Have you experienced it here?
In the smaller towns, yes.
Really?
Oh yeah. You want to share your story?
So I'm trying to quit smoking, but I walked into a gas station. I can't remember. It's going back in one of these smaller towns, and we stopped at a little store. And I walked in, and I was like, speaking. They instantly started looking at me. I didn't take no offense. It's like whatever. The only thing that bothered me was I asked for, hey, do you have, can I get a pack of Newports? And I was buying some drinks. I was like, yeah, we don't sell those kind of cigarettes for those here. And I was like,
Did you ask for cools?
and I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah, you won't find that here. And I was like,
You're not gonna find black cigarettes. Is that the kind of?
yeah, that's basically what I was
What he was
getting
trying
at.
to say.
I don't want to try to make, something, but that's what I gathered. And I was like, it would have been too easy to say, hey, we don't carry Newports, or, you didn't have to say it that way.
Yeah. Instead of like, we don't sell cigarettes for your kind.
Did you think that? What was it?
For the record, I used to smoke Newports. But
I love ports.
Yeah.
I love ports. But do you think that it was just like, not even thinking, like, he was not really targeted, it's just the way he explained, or he was really like...
It could have went either way. That's what I said. It's
I see.
just based off perception. I think that's what he was alluding to. Just like the Lowe's right up here.
Really?
I was buying, you know how you buy the extension cords and they wrap?
Yeah.
And he was like, so I was going through the self-checkout and a guy walked by me and literally was like, do you think that's strong enough to hold your weight?
Are you serious?
Oh.
And I was like,
what the hell?
and it was a young lady right there at the register. She's like, her face just turned red. And then I was like, I looked at her and I said, sometimes you just can't help, what you're taught. Just basically what you're taught. Yeah, I could have acted out, but that wouldn't make me any better.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's just based off of their education. You know what I'm saying? As long as the dude didn't put his hands on me, it would have been a different way. We went a different
Was
way.
it young, old?
That's crazy.
It was older. He was older gentleman.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. You
Man.
can hold your weight. Damn.
I would have said,
Am I that fat? I'm embarrassed to say I just got it. But I thought you were plugging something in.
Yeah, but
That's my ignorance.
but it is what it is. This is
I hope he was not saying it as a,
Yeah, did he say it like in a sarcastic tone?
I think even if it's a joke
Yeah,
or
he was
sarcasm,
like-
it's still
that's fucked up.
insensitive.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I'll be like, bro, that's
But-
fucked up.
it is what it is. I just it's just matter what I do.
So next
what I
time,
teach.
so next time that happens to you, at the top of your lungs, say, "You just call me nigga." What does it say? And then he'll be in trouble.
Just falls out.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I bet he'd be in trouble.
Modern
So you
times.
just it's what you do with
Yes.
your time, your space, and that's why I teach my kids. It doesn't matter. And my kids, they they hang out with anybody, talk with anyone. You know.
That's good. You got good
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
and that's kind of sad. This time and age, you still have those extremists. Just keep to yourself, man. You don't have to. If you're racist against me, just keep to yourself. I'm not gonna bother you. It's crazy. What do you think?
Sure.
You know, when I was in the military, when I was in ANOC,
Mm.
I had this roommate. He was from Mississippi.
Yeah.
Coolest guy, got along with everybody. Halfway through the course, right? We had a discussion about, like, in the classroom, discussion about like DEI, race, right? And he just popped up and said, "It's hard for me to admit this, but I was a racist up until like a few years ago." And the people were like, "What do you mean?" He's like, I was raised in this part of Mississippi that there was no black people in my neighborhood, and we were taught, you know, hey, they're not in our neighborhood, they're over there, we're over here." And then he joined the military, and he was still a racist through basic training, you know, everything. I guess he didn't do nothing to get him in trouble, but he was like, "Yeah, I was racist. I stayed away from, you know, anybody that wasn't white. I only befriended people that were white." And then when he got to his first duty station, I can't remember if his platoon sergeant or squad leader was black, and he didn't know how to react to that. And then they figured out that he was a racist, and they only put him with every detail that came up, every mission that came up. They only put him with black people. Like if there was a mission, there was another white guy, they wouldn't put him on it. They only put a mission with black people. And he was like, this guy changed my perception of people. Like he broke down my walls, but he grew up that way. He didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You know? And then this platoon sergeant was like, "Oh, you were just taught wrong. We're gonna fix you. You know."
Yeah, that's good.
Don't worry about it.
At first, when he said it,
Yeah.
there was people in the room like, "No, we're not talking this guy's ass." He's like, "No, I was. Let me tell you how I." That's a really good story.
That's a really good story.
That is a good story.
Yeah, soldiers in basic training, you know, they're coming in. Some white guys, you know, they look at me like, you know, like I'm crazy, like they've never seen an Asian guy before, and they refuse to do what I tell them to do. So I give them some extra smoking, right? And I figured that this kid was racist because every time a battle buddy who was white, you know, addressing the platoon, you know, he listens, you know, no problem with him. But whenever I'm in front of the platoon, you know, he gives me shit, you know, he doesn't do the stuff that I tell him to do. So I keep on smoking him. So during BRM, this kid is having a hard time shooting the targets, right?
Is this when you were on the trail?
This is also on the track, yeah. So this kid was having a hard time, you know, qualifying for marksmanship. So I told my buddy, you know, hey Harbaugh, you gonna take care of that kid? He can't shoot for shit. And he's like, "No, man, you know what the deal with this kid? I want you to talk to him," because he was higher ranking than me. I'll talk to him. I coached the kid, you know, even after everybody's done, I sat with him and gave him ammo, you know, making sure that he keeps shooting, just spending quality time with him, make sure he qualifies. After that event, he qualified, and his attitude changed. You know, after that event, you know, he started doing what I asked him to do, and then when they graduated, he pulled me to the side and said, "It was I appreciate you qualifying, you know, helping me qualify, blah blah blah." You know, I didn't know that. You know, I never seen an Asian, you know, apparently never seen an Asian guy before. And he was kind of, did not trust me at that time. But when he learned, you know how I'm taking care of him and I'm equal to everybody, he kind of like changed his perspective on that, which is a good story. So, but yeah, there's still areas over there that's still, you know, not teaching the right way or not exposed to other cultures. So that's but nowadays, because America is expanding, hopefully it's more, you know, diverse, and we're hoping. I mean, we're growing as a country significantly. Look at the border.
All of Mexico now.
That's another podcast.
That's a different podcast.
I was wondering when we're going to just include all of South America into North America, just make it one country. You know, we just take it all
So
take it all over.
This ultimatum: either surrender to us, or let us conquer you. Stop the credit on the board. Surrender to us. We're powerful anyway.
American for everybody.
So we've been on our podcast. We have 2 viewers. I think they're waiting for reactions, not the podcast. So that's it for the podcast.
Okay.
Any comments? Final comments?
Awesome. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Good discussion. It was a good discussion.
Yeah,
Different
yeah.
perspectives on it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll do some reactions later, maybe down the line, and that's it from Top Talks. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thanks.
Cheers.
See ya.
Cheers. All right. Cool beans.